Steve and Christine, I absolutely have loved knowing you since I have learned about Adam and Eve in Berkeley Lake. And we're so honored to work with you at Riptide and love your full tempo and execution that we've seen with running your business. But we would love to hear, what's your background, Steve and Christine? We'd love to hear your business expertise and background, and also kind of what the genesis was to bring you to Adam and Eve and be owners of your store in Berkeley Lake. So I thank you very much for joining us.
I'm Christine, and I have been in the corporate environment, was there for 33 years doing finance for one of the largest global consulting firms in a variety of roles, and had a lot to do with clients in the retail space. And I grew up around retail, so that's familiar to me, and really loved the idea of getting into an A&E franchise.
I'm an engineer, electrical computer engineer by training, mostly in the field of communications. I have worked in a variety of positions, mostly in large companies. Basically left the big company world after a couple of decades in the C-suite and really wanted to look for something different. Most of my work has been B2B, but my clients oftentimes were retail space. So I've had some exposure to it that way. And of course, large scale business operations. And I also worked for a startup business for a little while as well. So I do have that broad background in terms of the business experience, not only from a technology point of view, but also from the general business and finance type of point of view. Don't have nearly the finance background that Christine has, but I know enough to tread water when needed. And yeah, we looking to get out and do something on our own and have something that we could pass down to our son when the time came. So that was why we started to look for something else. We toyed with the idea of starting something up on our own, buying a small business that was already in existence, or doing a franchise. And after an attempt to buy a small business fell through, we ended up looking at some of the franchises. And Adam and Eve really struck us as a good opportunity, something that is not super rigid. It's something that's relatively recession resistant, which we like. And it's also something that is offering a service that is making people happy, feeling good, and being helpful. Like I always put it, it's not like owning a grocery store where somebody comes in and buys a gallon of milk because they need that gallon of milk. They come into our store because they want to be in our store. And that's a good way to really kind of help people in something that we can do.
It is. And it's great to bring them happiness, through what you all do. And it's way more than the products and things like that. That's phenomenal. How do you find being in Berkeley Lake? What do you love about the area? Why Berkeley Lake? Tell us all about that.
A lot of the location is, as the old saying goes in real estate, whether it's commercial or residential, location, location, location. And it's really about just trying to find an area with good visibility and easy access. And then, of course, because of the type of business, some municipalities have some rather strict rules that would keep us out, even though we are really in many ways no different than a Victoria's Secret. We sell the same types of products that CVS and Walgreens and Walmart sell in store. But some of the municipalities are just kind of strange when it comes to that. So it's a balancing act of finding a location that will have you, a landlord that will have you. And like I say, that good type of location where it's a good spot for people to find you. And that's how we ended up in Berkeley Lake.
Adam and Eve, I'm crazy about it. The brand, I'm crazy about it because getting to know you all better and work with you. But what do you think, and I know you have a very clever approach to it, if it might be awkward for them, or, they'd love to explore products in your brand and get to know y'all better. And there's certainly, there's kind of maybe a misperception. And what I'm so pleased about is that you weave in and have the wellness, you have the lingerie, you've got so many other things that are bundled into your brand name and your store. So I'd love to hear your take on that.
One of the things we kind of start with is from the time you approach the store, we really do strive for that beautiful, high-end, very welcoming boutique style of presence. And we absolutely focus on romance and health and wellness. We are not like a lot of others that have other unrelated products We just really want to specialize on those aspects. And with that is the fact that we expect and train our team to be more than just sales clerks. We really do insist that they be more of a consultant type of role. When somebody walks in, even if, as you were alluding to, Heather, it's somebody who maybe is a little shy, maybe it's a first time shopping for these kinds of products, we are there to be welcoming and inviting of all adults. As long as they're in a consenting relationship, it makes no difference what that relationship is. And through in-depth product knowledge, continuing education, understanding of some basic psychological principles, we do everything that we can to ensure that customer experience that, as we say, we want to exceed the customer's expectations.
As far as it goes with people who might be uncomfortable coming into the store or unsure about what they want, we do our best to ask non-invasive but probing questions to understand what it is they're looking for so that we can help guide their visit through the store to the products that they are interested in. And also, we are a very open and inviting environment. And if someone is not comfortable coming in while there's other customers in the store, we offer the ability to open up early or stay late so that they can come in when others are not there, if that's what works for them, as well as offering them times when we know it's a little bit slower in the store to say, hey, if you want to come by during regular hours, if that's what suits your needs, here are the best days or times to come in and be less likely to have a crowded store.
Right, a true personal shopping experience.
Is there an age requirement to be in your shop?
There is. We have a requirement of 18 years or older. There's no legal requirement, but that is a company policy. And it helps us ensure that you don't have a bunch of giggling teenagers interfering with actual customers.
Steve, you mentioned earlier a little bit of an issue trying to find a location. Some people were a little hesitant about it. And you know, we are in the Bible Belt, very conservative area. There is a little bit of a stigma attached to the industry you're in, much like there has been in the CBD industry. Why do you believe that stigma is there? Do you see it changing? I think the CBD has been able to kind of get over the hurdle now. It's becoming more common, accepted, whatever the term may be. And I love the way Christine, when we were talking before the show, she mentioned it's a romance boutique and she used the term enhanced romance. People are private about their personal lives when it comes to things like this. Do you see this becoming less of a stigma and more open, more common, much like where the CBD industry is going?
I do. And I think there's a couple aspects to that, Mike. One is once we manage to get our first store open in the metro area, people can come by and see what it is. It's not what a lot of people envision. We also work very hard within the legal framework. We are not classified as an adult or sexually oriented business. We are a specialty retail store. And we make sure that that's the case from a legal point of view so that we don't run into those types of problems where people get a misconception of what we really are. Then you add to that the fact that a lot of other retailers really are selling the type of product I mentioned before. CVS and Walgreens and Walmart and so on are selling the same types of products. Sure, we have a higher end product. We have a broader selection and a better selection. But you can walk into a Sephora, an Ulta, Victoria's Secret, CVS, all carry the same types of products. And I think when you start to see those sorts of typical general retail, mainstream type of stores carrying these kinds of products, it really does help move people away from that misconception of what we're really all about.
We provide a nice balance between the fact that we're carrying in our stores a lot of high-end lingerie. We're also carrying a lot of wellness items, and we highlight those for the customers because there's such a varied demographic where we are, from, 18-year-olds up to I've had somebody in their 80s coming in and shopping with me and looking for different things. So we try to cater to our local market and make sure that it's in a nice and welcoming environment so that they're comfortable coming in and seeing us on a daily basis.
Heather allows me one dumb question every show, so here's my dumb question. Typically, do couples come in together, or do they sometimes prefer to come in by themselves as opposed to coming with their other half?
A lot of times we see couples come in together, and I have seen, and it tends to be more on the male side, but not always. I do see men who come in and are buying for their partner or buying for them together. And sometimes in the older generation, that is because their spouse is uncomfortable coming into the store and we're working up to that. But a lot of times it is the couples coming in together. And we also cater to, and I've had several of these come in, couples who are long distance. And we
Oh,
have things we sell in the store that allow for that, allow them to be more intimate, even though they're long distance.
I would love to hear the wellness aspect and deliverables of Adam and Eve. Could you walk us through some of those points about your wellness offerings? Because you've got some great ones.
On the female side of things, we have products for Kegels, for exercising your Kegel muscles. We also have for people who have been through chemotherapy and other things like that, or other procedures, we have vaginal dilators. We also, on the female side, have toys. They're not specific for Kegels, but they can measure and take stock and record how your muscle progression is, how you're progressing with your muscles. And they track that for you, which is helpful for some women depending on what they're going through. And we also have a line of lubes that is specifically geared at women from the perimenopausal through postmenopausal stages of their life. That is a great lube for couples, but it also acts as a vaginal moisturizer and can be used daily by women who have problems and need that sort of support to help with their intimate encounters.
That's vital. And I know that I have friends that have searched high and low and gone to different doctors to help with exactly a lot of these things that you just listed. It's great that we're getting the word out. The more people know about your vast sort of chest of things that you offer, along with those very traditional, wonderful things for enhancement and pleasure and romance, enhancing romance I love that phrase.
Heather, I was just going to add, since you brought up folks seeking medical advice and that sort of thing as well, we have and are continuing to grow relationships with various medical practitioners as well, so that when they have a patient with a specific need that we can help with, they send that patient to us. And likewise, if we, through the interaction with the customer, are seeing something where they need something beyond just a specific product, or they need assistance from a medical professional to help guide them in which products they need, we have those kinds of relationships to refer them to specialists such as gynecologists. We're working now trying to get set up with a urologist, and we also have a pelvic floor physical therapist that we do work with as well. On the health and wellness product realm, we have some supplements that help not only from emotional or psychological point of view, but also help bring blood flow to the area, especially in and around the genitals. And that works for both male and female. And then we also do have some physical products, things that are designed to help with prostate health. And then we also have one, interestingly enough, while it's not the case here in the US, the UK National Health Service actually has it listed on their list of products that are eligible to be prescribed by a doctor. And that helps with certain types of erectile dysfunction.
That's a big market as well, where people, doesn't matter if they're older, they're younger, people need assistance and help and enhancements. And so it's wonderful to know about those things because, again, people might misperceive and think it's, toys only or whatever. It's much, much more than that.
Right. And we even have products that assist for those who, through various physical infirmities, are not able to provide the type of pleasure that their partner might want. It is a type of aid that enables them to provide the type of stimulation with their partner while also getting pleasure themselves, to try and help overcome some of those various types of physical infirmities.
Women have had in-house product parties, if you will. Is that something you guys participate in or can help with?
We're definitely open to doing that for people if they're interested, bringing a selection of products and doing something in someone's home or in another location where they're more comfortable doing that, where they're just around their friends. That's something we're definitely open to.
Yeah.
And we
And
can
we're
also do that in store as well. So, like Christine mentioned before, with that personal shopping type of experience, we're happy to do things after hours as well so that people can come in and have a easier access to the selection of products.
And we have bold, audacious goals and plans, Mike, already in play with Christine and Steve. And so they include, we're having an event coming up in February. We also are working with local folks that are vendors in different arenas, the wine folks in Johns Creek and so forth. And then we've got a whole suite and roster of topics, classes, appearances, things like that Steve and Christine will host with their alliances, with the urologist folks, with the pelvic folks. So we've got a whole series of topics and sessions that we're planning and we're going to announce to the world. Steve and Christine, what is the address for Adam and Eve in Berkeley Lake?
We are located in the shops at Berkeley Lake, which is 4790 Peachtree Industrial Blvd. We're Suite 106, and we are directly downstairs from the Imperial Fez restaurant, which is very well known in the city of Atlanta.
Yes, we're working on plans right now to have a gathering there. Some great partnerships.
Are you open 7 days a week?
We are. The only 2 days we close are Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. And oh yes, on the directions, we are located in pretty much every online directory. So your GPS, whether it's in your car or your phone or what have you, we strive to make sure we're listed in every directory we can find.
And your website is?
Atlanta.adamevestores.com.
And this is a franchise. Are there many others in the area?
We are the only one in the state of Georgia right now, and
Yes.
we have definite plans for growth.
And that leads me to my last two questions. I'd love to hear a little bit, and I was so impressed and energized when we discussed different customers driving across state lines to come to Adam and Eve, your store, in Berkeley Heights.
Yeah, we've had customers coming in from Alabama. I actually had somebody come in from South Carolina, far parts of the state as well, that are willing to drive, an hour plus to come to our store and have that experience.
That's a testament to you too. I really believe that. It's your style, it's your speciality, and it's the way that you interact with people. That's a huge part of it. Do you have any idea, where that second store might be?
We are looking in a very broad area right now, whether it's just inside the metro area or even outside of the metro area. It really is about finding that location that has all the points that we want it to have and is in a great spot to help out the market.
Steve, Christine, love speaking with you today.
Thank you very much for the time and great working with you guys and looking forward to lots more to come.